Hey y'all, Christina with Christy Lynn outside, coming to you from Central Louisiana. It is mid-April and I am snacking on sweet peas. There's not a whole lot of them here in the garden, but they have started and I can't help myself. I started these a little late in the season, so as long as it stays cool, they will continue to produce for me. But in Louisiana, it gets hot fast. So as soon as it starts to get hot, the sweet peas will not enjoy it and they will decide to quit on me. So I'm just gonna enjoy the peas while it's cool and we'll see. April is an exciting month because all of the cool season crops are starting to fade and like the lettuces are starting to bolt with the warmer weather, and the cabbages still have a little while to go, but they're filling out pretty well. I'm not sure if they're really gonna form heads this late in the season, but we'll see. If not, the leaves are perfectly edible. But in April, or at least this April, all of my warm season crops are starting to fill in and showing me what I have to work with. And I have to say, I'm very excited. A lot of the things that I thought were not going to do well are really showing out. So let's take a look and get started. My butter crunch lettuces are starting to bolt. As you can see, they are getting tall. They haven't formed any flower stalks yet, and the leaves haven't gotten bitter. So I really have just been coming through and chopping a head off here and there and putting them in my salad. See, this one is getting kind of tall. I'm gonna probably chop this one off today and put it in my salad this evening. But you can see I've been harvesting from them and they're not going to waste for sure. I've been giving them away to the neighbors and to family. So needless to say, the lettuce is doing amazing this year. This is my first year actually having a huge lettuce harvest, and this is only one bed. I have another bed of butter crunch. I have several other kinds of lettuce kind of sprinkled throughout the garden. My corbaci peppers are growing. They look awesome. Jimmy Nardello peppers are growing. And that's just the first bed, y'all. This is so exciting. I do have some calendula planted in here. I have not had any luck the last couple years with calendula blooming for me. It'll grow, but it just doesn't bloom. So I don't know. We'll see if this year it decides to give me some flowers, because I really would love some. Believe it or not, this is one tomato plant, one cherry tomato, taking up this whole arch trellis. I have two of these sun gold tomatoes, one on each arch trellis, and they have been showing out like nobody's business. also already have some tomatoes forming. So those should be getting ripe at some point. I've never had sun gold before, so I'm not sure how big. Oh, that one fell. Poor baby. I'm not sure how big they're going to get, but I have a ton of them. This truss is full of sun gold tomatoes. I mean, look at that. Yeah, I'm so excited. My cucumber plants are a little slow going, but that's okay with me. That'll probably work out best because once the cucumbers start to produce, then I will have a good flush of cherry tomatoes, and I can actually have cucumbers and tomatoes that are ripe at the same time this year. And in between all of this, I have a bunch of beans growing. One of these is the Oriental long beans, I think is what the name of it is, and in the other bed is rattlesnake beans. Also in this bed and my other bed where the arch trellis is are my red Creole onions. They're doing well. They're starting to bulb up. So in the next month or so, they'll probably be ready to harvest. And there's a little chamomile. The chamomile is also one that I have not had the pleasure of seeing flower yet. This is the second year I've grown chamomile, and I haven't seen any flowers yet. So this is the other arch trellis bed that I have with red onions, rattlesnake pole beans, a huge sun gold cherry tomato, and peas, sweet peas, or sugar snap peas actually, instead of cucumbers. And this is what I've been snacking on. Just a couple little plants on each side. And they really, they've been doing well despite being crowded. More semi-bolting butter crunch lettuce with some peppers in between. Now these are the Leisure Red and Chortachero peppers, and I did have a couple Leisure Red peppers that were on the plant, but the wind has been crazy and for some reason they fell off. And actually I'm just noticing that I have some damage here. I lost a branch or two. I don't know what that's all about. Something must have come and snapped it off. I don't know. Shoot, knowing me, I probably drug the water hose over it and pulled it off. This bed, I can't even call it just my asparagus bed anymore because there's so much going on in here. This year I did similar to what I did last year, and I planted tomatoes along the perimeter of the asparagus bed just to give me some more production out of this bed other than just watching the asparagus fern all season. Also last year I planted strawberries in this side of it, and I've been getting a handful of strawberries every other day. And look, it's time for me to pick some more. They have been the best snacks ever, along with my sugar snap peas. But the tomatoes that I planted here, these are mostly indeterminate cherry tomatoes, and I have 4 or 5 different kinds. I got Tommy Toe, Red Torch, some more Sun Gold because they were just doing so well, and Black Cherry. And on the ends I have a couple different determinate tomato types. I have a couple red snapper. And then on this end, I have a couple Hasinator determinate tomatoes. Now, the star of this bed by far is the cilantro that I really didn't think was going to do much of anything. It completely exploded and bolted and flowered everywhere, and it has attracted the honeybees and the wasps like crazy. I don't know if you can see all of the bees in here, because they're so tiny, but there are at least 10 or 12 honeybees that are swarming around this cilantro, and it actually is, I believe, turning into coriander. I think that's what that is. So I'm so proud of this cilantro, and even though it is shading out my red potatoes, which weren't really doing that great anyway, I am not mad. I'm not mad at all, because this is gonna be a huge game changer for the pollinators this year. Here I have Texas super sweet onions and Kennebec white potatoes growing, and the potatoes are really, I mean, look at them, they're huge. I mean, the plants at least. I don't know how well the actual potatoes are doing in here, but when I read that potatoes and onions do really well together, I didn't expect the potatoes to do this well. And the onions may not do as well as, I don't know how, I've not done onions before this year, but I noticed that my Vidora onions are huge and they did great, and I didn't have anything else in that bed with them. Now these Texas super sweets, some are large, some are not so large, but I mean, I'll be happy with whatever I get this year, and I'll learn from it for sure. And I'm super excited to see if the potatoes produce at all. But check this out. I don't even know what this is. It might be a Principe Borghese from last fall. Little volunteer tomato plant that I'm gonna just leave there, and we might get a little something out of it. Remember the crazy pepper tomato cage system that I built? Well, you can't even see it anymore. The tomatoes have overgrown. I mean, you can see the beginnings of it here, but I mean, the tomatoes are huge. These are all determinate tomatoes, several different varieties. Floridade, Homestead, Marglobe, and I think one Principe Borghese. But in this mess of tomatoes, I also have bell peppers, and I don't know if they're gonna do well or not, but I mean, check that out. Check that out. A big old bruh. I definitely have at least 2 or 3 bell peppers in here that are already forming. I don't know if you can see them because they're so buried in there, but there you go, there's one. Good news for these is that they definitely won't get sun scald, so they should be pretty beautiful. These are supposed to be my large bell peppers, so I'm interested to see if the shade is gonna make them not so big. And on the other side of this bed, there are tons of blooms for tomatoes, and check this out. some baby tomatoes. So these are gonna start producing soon too. Oh look, there's a whole truss in there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. The garlic is being garlic. And the cabbages are filling out. They're really filling out. I don't know, like I said earlier, well, this one is forming a little head, but it's real loose. Even if I don't get heads out of these leaves are perfect for cooking. Check all those out. Those are so beautiful. I love the purple. And more lettuce. This lettuce is not really bolting. It's handling the warmer weather fairly well. Well, I say that, but this one is. This is a Pablo that's starting to bolt. And tons of celery. Now, although these celery plants are not producing large stalks, and probably just because they're kind of crowded, I still pick the bigger stalks. I still pick them and strip the leaves off of them and chop them up, because I don't really like big pieces of celery in my dishes anyway. So these small stalks make the most perfect minced celery. So I know you can't tell in this big mess of tomato leaves, but this is only 4 indeterminate tomatoes. And this year I decided to go no nonsense with the tomatoes and just let them do their thing. And I'm sure it's eventually going to create a lot of nonsense, because I don't know if you can tell, but these 2 indeterminate tomatoes already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 leaders on 2 plants. And the other day I was looking, and at the bottom of this is my big Zac in the middle. The big Zac is doing pretty good. It has, let's see, 1, 2, 3. It has 3 leaders so far, and it has some blooms. I don't see any actual tomatoes forming yet, but it is blooming. And I am going to treat it with some more fertilizer and maybe some cow mag. I'm going to treat all of them actually. But check this one out. Look at all, I don't know if you can see, look at all of the leaders coming out of the bottom of this delicious tomato. 1, 2, 3, 4 leaders just coming out of the bottom. And that's not including these suckers that are turning into leaders all over the place. So it's, needless to say, it's going to be a madhouse in this garden soon, but I'm here for it. And because I'm crazy, I did just plant 1 more indeterminate tomato in this mess. This is a great white tomato. I really want to see how these come out. And this one was really struggling. It needed to be transplanted. So I just put it here, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This bed is the bed that Peanut picked all of the Vidora white onions out of the other day. I topped it off with a bag of compost and manure and transplanted some of these very sad looking peppers. On the left here I have red Lasia peppers, and on the right I have some more poblano peppers. These were very sad, dry, in fact, I'm going to pick this off, very sad, dry pepper plants that were in desperate need of being transplanted somewhere. So I'm glad that we went ahead and pulled all of those onions, because it gave me a place to put these poor little pepper plants before they passed away. So hopefully they will recover and be some of my best producers. You never know. Here's my sweet potato bed, and you guessed it, there's not just sweet potato slips in there anymore. All of these extra sprouts are green beans. In between each sweet potato slip, there are 16 in here. I planted about 6 to 9 green bean plants. So those are all starting to pop up, and I should have a really great flush of green beans before it's even taken over by the sweet potato vines. And this bed is not doing so well, but there are a lot of other green beans. There are some burgundy green beans and some contender green beans, and there are some squash and zucchini in here, but they are not doing well. And I suspect it's probably, in fact, I know it is because these beds are brand new, and I put cheap dirt, I put topsoil and cheap compost manure in there, so there's really not that much available nutrients in this soil. So I need to feed this soil and get it up to par before anything really maintenance heavy like squash can grow in here. Now, obviously green beans do wonderful in anything, so take that as a note for if you have any new beds that you put in. Green beans are a perfect start, because green beans will pull nitrogen out of the air and fix it into your soil and help you to feed your soil for future crops. This bed is some of the same. I have eggplants and peppers in here, and although they are producing some peppers, there are some peppers that are producing, and I had a couple, let me see if I can find it, little baby, maybe it fell off. I thought I had a couple baby eggplant, but I don't see it now. It is blooming though, so maybe it might have fallen off, because these are really, I mean, look how light they are. They're not very dark green, so they're kind of starving for some nutrition. So I will come in, and also in this bed I also planted some green beans, so those are all popping up in between all of those. And I will come in with some liquid fertilizer and give all 3 of these new beds a jolt, and hopefully that'll help push them along. Alright, so that's it for the garden in April. Lots of great, exciting things happening in the garden, and although you probably can't see it, there's also lots of more room for improvement and planting. So with my squash plants, I think I'm just gonna go ahead before it gets too late and pull those out of the ground and just plant some seeds, because I think that if I plant them by seed, then I don't know, they might do okay. We'll see. Tell me what you think. Do you think that I should just start over with the squash and zucchini and just pull them up and start them by seed? It is April, so it shouldn't be too late. it does get very hot, and the squash vine borer is probably going to start coming out soon though. So I don't know. I never have luck with squash or zucchini or anything in the cucurbit family other than cucumbers. So let me know what you think. Should I just start over? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate everyone that is taking their time out and watch my videos. Gardening is a labor of love, but it's also a way to decompress. And as big and labor intensive as this garden can be sometimes, I mean, I don't have a huge farm, but I am constantly expanding, constantly planting, constantly watering. I really need to get an irrigation system. The irrigation system that I want though is not really in my price point right now, but it really is. It's a labor of love, and I enjoy everyone that comments on my channel, on all of my videos. It solidifies the fact that there are a community of people out there that love the same thing that I love, because talking to that one over there that's washing his truck about my garden is not very exhilarating. He'll eat everything that comes out of it, or most of the things that come out of it, but he doesn't really get the excitement of growing everything and watching it grow. So thank you all for watching my videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below. I need pointers. I'm not a professional at this. Constantly learning and hoping that maybe you learn something too. So keep growing.